Tracey is a Transmosis healer. Now I'm going to call her that because that's the kind of work she does. And there's nothing else that you've ever seen like this. I had a session with Tracey, and we're going to go in and talk a little bit about it. But I'm going to give you a chance to hear a little bit of how she got there. So Tracey, thank you for coming in and being with us today, giving up your time. I absolutely love and adore you for your sweetness and kindness in sharing this time with us.
Thank you.
When we were talking, you and I talked about how healing doesn't have to stop with just Reiki. And I'd like for you to give a little background on where you started back in the day. And I know, right? She started in 1982, but you know, she was a young thing then. She was like 20, maybe.
Early 20s.
That's not true. It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess when I was 18 or 20, around there, I lived in Virginia, Northern Virginia. And there was this beautiful woman. Her name is Diet. And we would go to her house every Sunday night. And we would study A Course in Miracles, or we would meditate, or we would just do all this kind of stuff that I had not remembered in this lifetime. And she suggested I try Reiki. So I did that. And I think I got my Reiki 1. I know I got my Reiki 1 in 1983. And it was lovely. And I thought I learned that if you don't use it, you lose it. But that wasn't true. So 10 years later, I love classes. I love people. And I love energy work. So I've taken almost every energy work there is. And this is Aria. She's joining the session today. And so 10 years later, I took Reiki 1 and Reiki 2 again. And I realized I didn't need to do that, but it was fun, and learned about herbs and all that kind of thing. And, you know, this is all in Northern Virginia. And then we moved out to Colorado, and I learned Reiki 3, or the Reiki Master symbol. And that was in 95. And I was practicing and doing that. And what I noticed is that when I would place my hands on people in all those Reiki positions, information and images, like when you're dreaming, would come, and I would just share with the person what I would hear and what I'd see. And it seemed to add more to the session rather than just Reiki. And I am not belittling Reiki. It's a sweet, lovely energy, and it's very healing and balancing for people. So I did that for quite a while. But then I kept taking classes. I kept taking, like, I took Ewan Method, Master Dr. Shaw's Divine Healing Hands, Theta Healing, Axiotonal, you name it, I was in it, taking it. And what happened one day, as I was driving to work, I lived in Longmont, Colorado, and I was driving to Boulder, and I had met this wonderful lady named Vicki. And on her property, she had a geodesic dome. And I had participated in a workshop there with one of my beloved friends that I actually talked to this morning. She's in Toronto, Canada, and she was facilitating a workshop. And I got to be one of the pillars. And I was the pillar of light. Someone else was the pillar of love. And then the third person was the pillar of harmony. So I had been to her dome. And every day that I went past that intersection near her house in Niwot, I would hear, call Vicki, call Vicki. And I'm like, yeah. And then finally one day I did. And she was out of town, but the person that does the multidimensional body work, like Vicki, was in her stead, if you will. So I signed up for a session with her, and it was lovely. And I realized, oh my God, she's giving me structure to what I'm doing naturally, no matter what modality it is. Like I said, when I put my hands on someone, right, or you tap into that sacred space, really.
Right.
Information comes. So I feel like a conduit, and a mediator, a negotiator, like you said, a liaison for spirit, for the person. And so I learned a lot of techniques using the tools, which are the guides and the light. I don't do it, but I have the gift to be able to witness it and see what's happening and share that with the client. So it's kind of like a trinity. It's the client, myself, and spirit, and whoever their team is, whoever the the guides and angels and masters that work with that individual and with whatever that individual wants to achieve, to remove. Because face it, I mean, we're 1% visible. I mean, 1% is physical, bones, muscles, all of that. And sometimes our 1% gets blocked. And there's many other bodies, there's many other realms, there's many other dimensions that we can tap into to assist the physical body. So if 99% of us is invisible, well, what does that contain, right? And I can't actually see it, but when I close my eyes, I can sense it. And it's almost like I said, like a dream. So you've got the physical body, the 1%, but then you've got the super physical, you know, all the different bodies. And on the chakra system, the 7 energy centers of our body go through all of them. So you've got, and the chakra systems are connected to your glands, your ductless glands, the endocrine system. So we're all one thing, we're all one piece, and we get disconnected. The relationships between these bodies, meaning super physical, astral, causal, that's like your memories, mental, etheric, and soul. And maybe some of us have many soul bodies. I'm not real clear on that. But sometimes, you know, when we're a kid, we had abuses, maybe falls, accidents, hurt feelings. Those kinds of things can get stuck in our field, our toroidal field. And sometimes our life doesn't feel like it's going the way it should or could, you know, the limitless potential of what we have. And so if you clear the spirit of the energy and return it to present time, so it's not stuck in the past with a trauma, for example, then it kind of like frees it up. And then it's almost like, I don't know, like, I feel like if I could hear the sound, it would be like little blocks clicking in together so that everything is in its exact right
like
space.
going to the chiropractor when they're doing the alignment.
That's me.
Exactly. You're
right.
the healing, you're the multi-bodied chiropractor. Well, you know, in metaphysics, we talk about this, and, you know, to lend credence to what you're saying, because when we go in through spirit, there is no time. We don't have a time. So we can be experiencing many things in other lifetimes simultaneously, but because we're on Earth and we're used to thinking 3D, we think linearly. I know. We think of the linear line. So what basically we forget is that there's so much more to that opportunity of healing than we don't know what's going on in another life or in another body. And it doesn't have to be things that have happened. It's also bringing stuff in from future self and from higher self.
Yes.
And for the integration to happen so that we quit thinking on that 3D plane of existence. Now, I know that a lot of people, when they're talking about their own healing work, they try to, when you're working with them, they try to minimize a lot of the what's happening. But that didn't happen in our session, which I want to tell you thank you for, because when I had my session with you, you know, I tell people this when I do healing circle. If you can get somebody to lay down on your table without their cell phone and be quiet for 5 minutes, they're going to feel better immediately. So integrating the experience, which is what happens with you, is that you talk with the people and you tell them what's going on. And that's much more, they can feel it, they can integrate more, they can accept it, they can acknowledge what's happening in their bodies. You paid me one of the highest compliments and said I was I was pretty clear. And I thought, well, geez, what am I doing that's working? And I thought, you know, we forget that we're the ones always bringing healing to ourselves. So you're able to acknowledge those things for people as well, where they're not healing themselves and where they could be.
Yes. There is a self-responsibility, and it's not in a negative way to say, oh, you're responsible and you need to fix this and do that. It can actually be loving and fun and delightful. And it's very nice. I had a therapist long time ago back in Washington, D.C., and she said to me, never underestimate the power of being witnessed. And I feel like that's the honor that I receive, because it's a very sacred experience, and it's almost like a surgical field, but actually it's more like a sacred field that we consecrate the session, and we ask for your highest good, for yourself and for all concerned. We call in nothing but 100% pure divine light. And if there are, like there's darkness, there's light, but there's different degrees of light. And if light is, let's say, at 10, the dark, if you want to call it that, is from 9 and below. So you just call it up, let the light clean it up, transmute it, thank you for your service, and it leaves. And somehow it's like we are a hologram. I mean, if we're only seeing 1%, there's a lot going on in the now moment.
I'm going to take that opportunity to bring up your book. You are the co-author of The Magi Within. And you gave me this copy. I was going to buy it, but you said, oh, here, just have it. You were such a doll. Thank you very much. What I want to tell people about this book and with your healing. So I want to bring in both aspects, because we're talking about being self-responsible. I want to read something that I really enjoyed reading. In here, it says, I've read the book, and I'll go back through and do the work, because it's a workbook. So I read it.
It is.
And prepare. And I want people to really understand that this is a beautiful book to take an opportunity to, I don't care how well we think we're doing the work. Sometimes we can use something like this workbook to bring us that next step, or to remind us of some things. So in the book, it says, I love in the beginning of each chapter, it says, remember to ignite your inner magi before beginning the exercise. And you send them back to the meditation, which is really beautiful, because people have a tendency to not remember to do that. But in there, it says, questions to expand your awareness. What if you allowed awareness to guide your life? What if awareness is all there is? What have you noticed when you went against your awareness? And can you trust your awareness? Now, the reason I liked this chapter, and I'd like for you to speak a little more to it, is the fact that everybody says, oh, we're being mindful. Oh, I called it paying attention when I was in school. I like the word aware, because sometimes we're being mindful, but we're not always aware. And awareness includes mindful. So I really liked the fact that you guys used awareness. Why did you pick that particular word? Do you remember? I know you've written this a long time ago. Well, not that long, but long enough.
Yeah, 5 years ago. Yeah, it's on Amazon. It has an ebook and a paperback book, and I have some paperbacks here. So originally, so there were 4 of us, and the one that brought us all together to do a project together, we were in Boulder, Colorado, and she actually stepped out, which was interesting because she ignited it. And then the day that she stepped out and we met anyway, we changed the title. It was about intuition. It was like, how do we help people tap into their inner worlds, their intuition? They already know what to do, but this is a support for that. And originally they weren't going to be, it was A through Z, you know, and at 26 chapters. And what's so interesting to me is that the three of us that did stay and finish the project, and it took us about 2 years. We met every other Saturday for a couple hours on a Saturday. And we created a template. Okay, you write A, you write E, you write whatever chapter. And we all wrote the chapters individually, but yet they could all come together. It's just fascinating to me. And rather than the artwork that activates, it was going to be gemstones. So, okay, awareness, amethyst. Yeah, we'll do that. What are we going to do for X? You know, and that kind of a thing. So that's how it started. And so we each individually had a chapter, but when the fourth person stepped back, there were 5 other chapters that needed to be written. So I had, what is it? Quintessence? It's like, what the heck is that? Okay, that's the 5th element. That's ether. I can do that. I know that stuff. You know, it's like, oh, let me go watch the 5th element again. I mean, there's so much that you do when you want to do it well, the perfection thing. And then you step back and go, it's good. It's great. It's kind of co-channeled, if you will. And we all did it the same. It was just fascinating. And we would go to Google Images to say, okay, what is quintessence? What does that look like? Because again, a lot of this is 99% invisible. How do you ground it? And I remember I wrote the awareness chapter, and I remember seeing a Google Doc or a Google image of like a third eye with light coming out of it. And the 3 of us decided that we would do artwork rather than the gemstone.
Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, we used gold foil. Yep.
Go ahead. I'm going to pull up where it says awareness and show them. Well, but continue talking.
So not only is it interesting that 3 people can write a book together, yeah, and yeah, Vicky is the artist, and Sandra Lee is the astrologer, and I guess the energy healer or the intuitive, and the 3 of us sat on the floor and we did our own process. We're like, okay, what are we going to paint for awareness, right? And we went into the center of our head. We kind of went down 2 inches, kind of activated our physical heart, and just contemplated awareness, and then shared what we all saw, felt, or heard. And I do remember feeling like I saw like this celery green color. So we started with that, and we sometimes copied, you know, the Google image. And then when it comes to doing real intricate things, we're like, okay, Vicky, it's your turn. You do it. I can do the background, but Vicky, you can do the third eye.
I have to laugh because I think that it's been an interesting journey of your work, because so many people stop their work, and your work is really unique. So I'm going to throw you under the bus now. This is where I'm going to throw you down. You know, we got a whole world of healers here in New Mexico. New Mexico was predestined to be one of the healing meccas of the New Age, and Albuquerque in particular. So I'm going to ask you, when are you going to start teaching?
I guess right now.
So
I guess right now is what I need to do.
Here's what I'm thinking, and I'm just kind of out there kind of thinking, we have a psychic fair on Valentine's Day. Now, I know that you absolutely love and adore your man, Jim, but I also know that he knows that you're supposed to be out there doing this work. So I'm kind of thinking maybe you should come down, be one of the healers for our psychic fair, so that people can come, and the ones that are interested in taking classes and whatnot, and have a session. We can even put you, so it's not in the middle of the psychic fair room, we can put you in the healing room so that you have some privacy, and you can, people can come in and get a little taste of your work, because, you know, I will say this, I've had a lot of energy work through the years, and sometimes it's not really energy work. I'm a tough nut to work with. I told you, I'm one of those people that when you go to the gym and you get on the treadmill, that the heart rate goes on, and I'm not touching anything because I send out that much energy. So it's really hard for people to get in and work with my energy. So you're one of the few that it was like, oh, I can feel that she's there. She's resonating with me. So, you know, I'm not saying they're not the real deal. I'm just saying I'm a tough customer because I operate on a different frequency than most. And it's not because I'm special. It's that, you know, maybe it's, in fairness, you know, it's because I've been doing this since I was 14. And some of the stuff that I do it's just who I am. And maybe because I live alone and I don't have that other person that I need to worry about cleaning up after and cooking for, that I don't get caught up in the day-to-day stuff. I have a lot of time to sit and detox my whatever happened that may be bad. So, you know, there's a lot of things that change our components, but I think if they come in and they have a little bit of session with you and they feel your work, you might then decide to do a class or 2 or 3 down here, and then we'll get you working up in Santa Fe too, and we'll get you all over the place. I told you I was going to throw you under the bus.
Oh my goodness. I do need to do this work, you know, and to be, okay, so I think that we are divine humans. And I'm going to say, I don't like the human part of me so much. And I would say that I got stuck in I'm not enough.
Yeah.
Comparison, like everybody else does it better. Everybody else knows what's going on and I haven't a clue. When in fact, that's just so not true. It's the fact that I've always been different. I've never fit in. I worked in corporate America for 40 years and I'm like the round peg in the square hole, or the other way around, where I don't fit, but I can make it work, gosh darn it. And I'm stubborn, and I am now letting go. I'm letting go and allowing, if spirit is the provider and spirit wants me to do this work, I am honored to do this work. I have always been in a support role. I have always been of service. And I am always amazed at what happens. You can't make it up. Like the clients that I've worked with, some say it's life-changing, and it's like, seriously? It's just me, you know?
Just me. Hang on a second. I want to see if there's any questions so far. Has anybody got any questions, Rosie? Brother Francis says hello. Pat Quintana says hi.
Hi.
Who else was there? There was, hi, Teresa. Hi, Bonnie.
Wow.
Hi, Adia. Hi, guys. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Let me tell you, while we're waiting for questions, if you guys have any. When I first met Tracey and I was at her house, this gentleman was working from her house. And when I walked in her door to have this session with her, I looked at her and I said, Tracey, I got to tell you, I know I can feel this is my gift. You're better than he was. And I have to tell you guys, she's a very gifted healer, and it is time for her to start teaching. And so it's not just having this session, but if you're interested in classes, please be sure to come to the Psychic Fair on February 14th. Meet her. We are going to be social distancing, so only one of you will be allowed to be with her at one time and social distance. Making sure she's got her little handy dandy thermometer. She checked me before I came in her door. She's like, oh, heck no, not getting my dog sick. But is there any questions just yet? Brother Francis said, it sounds like this work can clear us on many levels. Is that true?
Yes. Sometimes people, like a person in stage 4 cancer has physical ailments, but the origin of that physical ailment, it's multidimensional body balancing. So basically how a session occurs is somebody says, I've got this going on and that going on. And so we consecrate the session, meaning the person is fully clothed, lying on a bodywork table. We call in the guides of 100% pure divine light. And my motive, my inner design or desire is to be pure consciousness, so that my ego is on a shelf and that I can be a pure vessel to assist someone. And I don't know why. I almost think of it like soul homeopathy. It's like if I see an image or a this or a that and I share it, somehow it negates whatever was there. So if spirit is in every cell, and it could be in the astral body, the etheric body, the mental body, whatever, basically all our wounds and our disconnects are in three major systems. It's the chakra, the nervous, and the endocrine system. But sometimes there's other systems that show up. And so if you have a wound or a disconnect, I basically, after we consecrate the session, I ask, show me. And then miraculously, kind of clairsentiently, I hear on the inner, oh, the heart chakra of the astral body. And so I pull up a hologram of that. It looks just like you, but it's in the etheric body and it's the heart chakra. And if there is, I see what is in there or not. And if it looks like it's a wound, usually a wound is like a downward spiral. If someone's life has just taken a downward spiral, you kind of look for the wound in one of those bodies that I mentioned earlier. And then you call forth the guides and the light, and the light does it. Clean, clear, cleanse, heal, harmonize, and balance the heart chakra in the astral body, for example. And who doesn't have a wound there in the emotional body? Oh my gosh.
Right.
You know, as many limitless. You've had
you
so
would have
many
had
incarnations.
Right, and you would have had to have incarnated to pure divine light alone, no humans. To have gotten away from that.
The lower frequencies are there. And so the light actually does the clearing. And then the words that come through, and I don't even have to touch someone, especially in COVID time, but you know, I can just direct the light or orchestrate, conduct it, and witness it and share what I am seeing. And somehow spirit, me, and the student or the client receives a healing and a release, but I don't do it. I just have to say that I orchestrate it and facilitate it, but it is all spirit. And after the wound has been cleared with the light, the violet consuming flame, then we heal and seal it with golden liquid light. And we activate the upward spirals. We return, it's kind of like spiritual hygiene. We return the body to its original blueprint.
You're the spiritual showerhead.
I'm not a way shower, I'm a way shower.
Yay! Awesome. Any more questions, Rosie? Okay, so Pat Quintana wants to know if she can get a healing session. And I think, Pat, we're not sure what you meant by Ceylon. What was it? CELON? Okay, so you'd like to get a healing session with Tracey, with her work. Is that what it is, Pat? So let's give Pat a moment to. Okay, yes. Okay, so Tracey, we've got her. What are your rates?
I spend an hour and a half with a person, and I like 150. I really feel that it's worth it, and it should be even more than that, but I don't want to price anyone out. And so if that is too much for someone, I don't want to ever negate anyone from receiving the work and getting clear. So I have a sliding scale, 100 to 150. I prefer 150 or more, whatever. But and it's not about the money. It's about doing the service to ignite humanity to be its highest potential, you know? Yeah.
Okay. So if you are doing it at the psychic fair, you won't have the hour to spend with somebody. You'd have to do a little taste treat. How long would that session be? Usually we do 20 minutes kind of thing.
That's perfect. That's fine. And
how much would you charge for the 20 minutes?
I don't know. Isn't it $20 dollars
20 minutes for
minutes?
$20? Yeah.
Yeah, $1 a minute or something like that.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Okay. So I will put your contact information down at the bottom. We do have some, we'll get together, you and I, and figure out if there's ever a day you can come do the full sessions at Resonant Essentials down here in Albuquerque. Maybe we can get a few clients in with you.
Sure.
Have you come down and do that, and they can get the full sessions. So anybody who's listening to this on repeat even, put down #replay, or if you aren't, just type in the comments, tag me in the comments and say, Michelle, I'm interested, and I will take your name, and when I can get scheduled with Tracey for when she can come down here and work a day down here in Albuquerque, we will get you in. How does that sound? Yes. Yes, I can hear you.
Sounds good to me.
Brother Francis says if he's not busy on the 14th, because he'll be at the Psychic Fair working, he's going to come in for a session too.
Oh, that'd be honorable. Thank you. It's probably nothing to clear on him, but okay.
Oh, honey, I feel his head full of words, and not always good words. We play Words with Friends at 4 a.m. in the morning. I'm routing us out. Okay, so any other questions? Okay, so we're going to end.
Okay.
Go ahead, Tracey, I'm going to call you on the cell phone, so I'm going to end this session so that we can end the Facebook Live. For any of you guys that would like to see this, if you can't find it in the Resonant Essentials, the group, I will be uploading it to the Swanda YouTube. Just go to YouTube, type in Swanda in all caps, SWANDA, and go to my channel. You'll find the video there. You can like and share my channel. That'd be great too. So all of you, my heart to yours. I hope you enjoyed talking with Tracey. She has her book, The Inner Magi, and she has her Transmosis healing, and it's a wonderful treat. Thank you all for coming, and we will talk to you all soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.
You.